As you know, we often take great pride in the brave and courageous Maccabees as we celebrate this holiday of Hanukkah, but the sages of old took pains to make sure that the emphasis of this holiday would not be a celebration of military might at all, but rather of the spirit. This is expressed in any number of ways. Certainly, the Al Hanisim prayer that is inserted into our Amidah throughout the days of Hanukkah, and also whenever we recite Birkat Hamazon, which reminds us that God performed miracles for us. Masarta Giborim B'yad Halashim. He was the one who delivered the strong into the hands of the weak, the mighty into the hands of the few, people who were hardened killers into the hands of those who were simply yeshiva students. And so for all of the courage of the Maccabees, we remember that they were the few, they were the weak, they were the yeshiva boys. They weren't one of the mightiest armies on earth. And yet we remember that period of time and find that it's even relevant in our own time, within our memories. We've seen how our brave brethren in Israel have withstood in our world that, despite some glimmerings of hope in these days, is still largely hostile to a Jewish state. And our world is far more populous, wealthy, more influential than the Jewish people. And yet, our people, because they've been motivated by an inner light, have endured. And we've seen the same thing among the Jews of Russia. Many of you, I'm sure, back in the day, 20, 30, 40 years ago, weren't sure how many Jews would leave the former Soviet Union, and yet, with their knowledge of Judaism down to a minimum and their practice of Judaism pretty much the same, somehow they returned. Many to this country, 1 million to the state of Israel, enriching the Jewish homeland. And the same is true of Jews who lived in Ethiopia. They suffered starvation, primitive conditions, and yet their eyes were always towards Zion. It wasn't that they were mighty and strong, they were the weakest in their area. Somehow they returned to Israel, and we see that the light still shines. It's interesting that the king of the Syrian Greeks, Antiochus, does not have any progeny, no one to celebrate his name. The heroes of that era happen to have been a ragtag band of yeshiva students who were able to demonstrate through the light that fueled them from inside that they had something special to maintain for their people and to share with the entire world. And that's what we celebrate to this day. And so we welcome you to this celebration of Hanukkah, a celebration not of might, but of light. And we're going to be able to do that in any way, a number of ways that are delightful this evening, not the least of which with Rabbi Moshe Weisblum and the CBT band.